can't believe it. It's my first blind date.
Oh, I do it all the time.
Really?
Woo!
You guys meet?
We sure did.
We've got chemistry here. You feel it?
I felt it.
All right.
What's up, guys? It's your boy, Benny. Is Jill Biden fraudulently married to Joe Biden? Is this what's leading to the entire collapse and implosion and atomization of the Biden family currently? Has Jill Biden actually been the homewrecker who has destroyed Joe Biden and all of his children? Man, there are some shocking revelations that are coming to light right now, and the answers to these questions are actually more complicated than you think. I mean, you're aware that Hunter Biden, who gets a lot of the headlines, is a complete scumbag. Here's a Hunter Biden headline from this week. Hunter Biden asked court to stop love child from taking his sullied surname. Hunter Biden impregnated this hooker, this stripper, and this is Hunter Biden's biological love child. They're trying to make that child's last name Biden, and now Hunter Biden is suing, saying, one, that he's broke and he can't afford childcare, and two, that this child shouldn't be allowed to have his last name. Just in case you're wondering if, this guy is like absolute scumbag, numero uno. Hunter Biden's, love child with this lady. No, people want you to gloss over Hunter and look at Joe and Jill. Look, they're happy. Look at Joe and Jill together. They have an absolute picture-perfect marriage, right? It's just the picture-perfect story of love, a true love story. How about no, actually? Did you know that Jill Biden was actually the babysitter homewrecker for Joe Biden? That both Jill and Joe were married when they met? That Jill cheated on her husband with Joe Biden? And that Joe cheated on his late wife with Jill? And this is all extremely well documented? Well, I didn't actually know this, and I was pretty shocked to find it out. You can see that there are some major cracks, obviously, in the Biden marriage if you just watch them. Jill Biden is extremely demeaning to Joe regularly in public spaces.
Okay. Just stay.
She's telling me just sit, don't move.
The South Lawn. Thank you and happy Easter. All right.
Wait.
Jill Biden demanding barking at Biden to wave. Jill Biden insulting Joe in public.
And Secretary of Education, Miguel Cardona. Where are you, Miguel?
Yeah, where is my...
He says, there he is. He's educating people in the back. There you go.
Miguel. Did you say Naomi, too?
I didn't see Naomi.
She's over here. How can you miss her?
I tell you what, Naomi, how are you? That's my granddaughter, our eldest granddaughter.
And her fiance.
And I can't see.
And
Peter.
Oh, God, it's so hard to watch, so demeaning and degrading.
Jill Biden, Deb Haaland.
Jill Biden actually called Kamala Harris the president in front of Joe Biden. Watch.
Ladies and gentlemen, the vice president of the...
Ha, it's so funny. Ha. Joe Biden has dementia, and Jill Biden actually hates him. Well, at least that's what you would believe if you actually looked at the facts of their supposed marriage. This is a fraudulent relationship, and these people are lying about when they met, lying about the circumstances for their meeting, and lying in order to cover up the Black Sabbath that is actually what Jill and Joe Biden's relationship is, which is fraudulent. It's crazy when you look at the actual facts related to Jill and Joe Biden and their meeting. Jill Biden's first husband calls Joe Biden a hypocrite for criticizing people's character. After Democrat had an affair with his wife and reveals he'll vote for Trump in November, Bill Stevenson, Jill Biden's first husband, said that Jill cheated on him with Joe. And he said this on a corporate TV interview, an Inside Edition. This is back in 2020. Stevenson said that it's untrue, the official narrative of when Jill and Joe Biden met. Stevenson claims Jill was having an affair with Joe. A year before the divorce, Jill's spokesperson said that Stevenson's claims are untrue. but of course couldn't provide any evidence. This is Jill Biden's former husband. Here they are back in the day. Ooh, boy. And here's Joe and Jill back when Jill Biden was the old babysitter. Now, of course, this isn't in dispute, right? So here's Jill Biden's Wikipedia page. You can see that Jill Biden was married and divorced, Bill Stevenson here, early on in life. But then Wikipedia goes down here and says that Jill Biden met Joe Biden in March of 1975. They met on a blind date. Joe's brother Frank had set up, who knew her in college. Is that true, though? Is this real? Well, what's crazy is that Jill Biden's ex-husband actually says, no, this is all fake, this is all false, and that the Bidens are actually presenting a fake story to everyone to stop them from seeing the reality that they actually were cheating on their spouses with each other, and that would, of course, destroy the fairy tale idea of the beginning of their marriages. Joe Biden being married and Jill Biden both being married, and both of them cheating on their spouses. Joe Biden's wife then, of course, going on to die tragically in a car accident. Some say it had something to do with this. We don't have any evidence of that. But what we do have on-camera evidence of is Jill Biden's ex-husband speaking to this point. Go take a look. I mean, these people are just true liars.
But before Joe, there was Bill, the man Jill Biden married when she was only 18. Now her ex-husband is speaking with Stephen Fabian in this exclusive television interview.
It's going to hurt her. Yeah, it's going to break her heart.
He's the ex-husband of Dr. Jill Biden, the widely admired woman who's been at Joe Biden's side for 43 years. And he has an eye-opening story to tell.
I was betrayed by the Bidens. Joe was my friend. Jill was my wife.
The Bidens' love story is now legend. How they found true love after the heartbreak of losing his wife Nelia and baby daughter in a car crash in December 1972. They even put their tale of romance front and center at the Democratic convention last month.
When I met Jill, I fell in love with her when I saw her.
As Joe Biden tells the story, he first saw Jill's photo on an advertisement in Wilmington, Delaware in March 1975. His brother Frank, who knew the model from college, set Joe up on a blind date the following night. The Bidens' love story reads like a classic fairy tale. They saw a movie together on that blind date, fell in love, and never looked back. But Jill Biden's ex-husband says there's much more to the story, claiming Jill and Joe's relationship actually started in 1974 when he was still married to Jill. It was a blind date. Point blank, is that story true?
No, not even a little bit.
Bill Stevenson, the founder of a popular local rock music venue called the Stone Balloon, married Jill when she was just 18 years old.
Jill I met on the beach in Ocean City, New Jersey in August of 1969. Sure, I fell in love with her because I married her 6 months later.
In her memoir, Jill says of her first marriage, "I truly believed we were destined for each other. Looking back, it may seem like a mistake of youth." According to Bill Stevenson, both he and Jill first got to know Joe Biden when Biden was a county councilman in Newcastle, Delaware. Stevenson asked his help obtaining a liquor license. So you were friends with Joe Biden?
Oh, yeah. Not only that, I threw a fundraiser for him in August, raised between $2,500 and $3,000. We got married in 70. I introduced Joe to Jill in 72. Right before the election in 72, Jill, Joe, Nelia, and I were in his kitchen. How do you forget that?
That would be 3 years before that now famous blind date. Stevenson says his first inkling something was up came when Jill refused to go with him to meet Bruce Springsteen, who was booked to appear at the Stone Balloon.
He said, Joe asked me to keep an eye on the boys. And I just thought to the back of my mind,
Then one day he says a man came into his bar and asked him to pay damages for a fender bender that involved Jill.
He looks at me and he says, oh, she wasn't driving. I said, her beloved Corvette, she wasn't driving it? He goes, Senator Biden was driving it. And I went, what?
Did you confront Jill at the time and say, what's going on here?
Yes, I did.
Did she admit to it?
She didn't say anything. She just looked at me. I said, you got to go. You got to go get your own place.
Jill and Stevenson's divorce decree was issued in May 1975. He says the divorce became contentious when Jill asked for a share of the stone balloon, which he says the judge denied. In the years following the divorce, Stevenson was convicted on a federal fraud charge and was also sentenced to 6 years probation for passing bad checks. He blames his legal problems on politics. He has just written a book about his life and is considering publishing it.
We're talking about decades and decades ago. The story comes out right before the election. A lot of people are going to ask some questions.
It's years ago, but guess what? It's so current right now because he is picking on people about character.
Has anybody from the Republican Party reached out to you to tell your story, to come out to tell these things about Joe Biden, to speak out against him?
Nothing. Not even a little bit.
Dr. Jill Biden is denying her ex-husband's claims today. In a statement to Inside Edition, her spokesman says these claims are fictitious, seemingly to sell and promote a book. The relationship of Joe and Jill Biden is well documented. Jill Biden separated from her first husband irreconcilably in the fall of 1974 and moved out of their marital home. Joe and Jill Biden had their first date in March of 1975, and they married in June of 1977. Stevenson has been married to his second wife, Linda, for 34 years. He insists he isn't out for revenge.
Listen, I've said from the very beginning, I have no hard feelings about Joe, Jill, the affair. It means nothing to me now. Everybody's saying, Bill, you're being so mean bringing this up now. But if I don't do it now, it's never going to be able to be brought up.
Thank you for watching. Our channel is here to meme the libs until they cry and then to meme them crying. Their tears, they taste just like sweet, delicious ice cream. Salty, too. We ridicule the establishment and the libs because of you. Your support keeps us going. So if you like what you saw, please punch the subscribe button, click like, and ring the little bell so that you know when we're live. Don't you want to know when we're live? And make sure that you subscribe to our email list just in case the plug gets pulled, as tends to happen. If you want to see more of our videos, click here or here. My name is Benny Johnson. Stay free, Base Patriots.